into it. So what init state does is it initializes the state of the widget into something that you want. Now what I want is, initially I want the items to be null, and then I will be setting adding items into it, right? Before, we'll come into the saving stuff and tasks and all of that, but before that I want to initialize it with zero tasks. Isn't it correct? So I'll be initializing it with zero items. Just a second, it failed to boot. Okay, so I'll initialize it with zero tasks, and initialize it with zero tasks, and then I'll be awaiting this add task item, and then whenever I get a data from the navigator.push, it will create a new task and it will add to this list, and it will set state. Then what will happen is, and in this task list, let's go to the task list and change it a bit. Let's take this string title. Let's take a task item directly. Task. All right. So we'll take this as a parameter in the new widget that we are using, and then we are just we are going to use that in our widget here. Now this is called task. Our model is called task, so I'll be using this tasks, and the title test, instead of tasks list, I'm going to give a tasks dot just a second, task dot title. What's happening? I'm going to task item. Just a second. Task item dot title. All right. I'm going to refactor this in just a second. I'm going to create a stateless widget. I'm going to call it task tile, and then it will be consisting of a list tile, which returns a title of a text, which and this and I'm going to create a constructor that takes the task item in as parameter, and then this tasks dot title. All right, so this is the title, and then the trailing will be a item, which is which will be trailing will be an icon, which will be an icons dot checkbox. All right, so I'm going to add a condition here right now, which will state that if task dot is completed, which will be tasks dot is completed if it is true. I hope you guys know the this operator used in C++, which is basically the conditional operator. If it is true, then the first value will be true, if not the second. So if the icon is if it is correct, completed, then the icons dot checkbox. Otherwise I will give an icons dot checkbox outline blank. All right, so this will be our a condition, and then for this also we had a condition if the decoration part of the text. So I'll add it here itself, style text style. If tasks that is done is true, then it will have a strike through. which is like is completed in our case. Otherwise, there will be no such decoration, so we will not have any issues. So let's just rename it task tile, and we'll pass the tasks as task items index. Yeah. So just a second. Yes. So I need to wrap it around. There's no need to wrap it around since I'm just taking one item as parameter. So I'll be passing that item directly. Now let's see if my emulator is ready. Yes, it is. So I'm going to run. Uh, oh, just a second. It did not detect it. So let me just run it once more. Okay, so my emulator is up and running. I'll be starting with the full phased, checking and all. But before that, I'm going to also create a way to edit pre-existing tasks. So what I'm going to do is let's before that happens, let me just see if I can change. Now since I want to make it so that a person is able to change when he completes a task to like this state. So what I'll do is, if I'm going to wrap this icon around let's say refactor. I'm going to wrap this around a contain like this is something called inkwell. So what this does is it enables us to do a lot of stuff basically with like tapping, pressing, long pressing, sliding, and all that stuff we are allowed to do uh, with an item like inkwell. So with this, like I'll add on tap. I'll just set state of this widget into hello. Is my voice audible? Is someone trying to say something? Vikas, are you saying something?
No, bhaiya.
All right. My bad. Okay, so I'm wrapping it around an inkwell, and then on tab I will be setting the state of this item, which is called widget dot tasks dot is completed to not is completed. Is it all right? So this should basically uh, complete our complete our necessary objective, one can say. Just a second. Let me see what's the issue around here. It says, okay, so I did not save this, which is why all this issue is being created. All right. Flutter run. It should work. don't worry about all these warnings. These are just unnecessary linter files. But we'll be getting through all of these. Now let me create an edit screen task as well. If we want to go to a task, we want to edit a task. All right, go to edit task screen. Build context. I'll make it an async file. Dynamic response equals you can see it's your basic screen, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to allow it to take one parameter here, which will be defined as null initially, and this is called tasks, and I'm going to import it will get imported, no issues. So there's no need to like check it as null. If I can check it that check that
Okay, it seems Soumya's net has got disconnected. Vikas, am I audible?
Yes, Bhaiya, you are audible. I think Soumya Bhaiya has left the meeting.
Okay, no issues. Let me see if he has pushed everything on GitHub. Then I will just pull it.
Okay, Bhaiya.
Anyways, guys, if you're having any doubt regarding anything, then you can just ask in the chat, and you can go to through the Flutter documentations, which link I have provided, and the initial setup for Flutter, like VS Code and that Flutter SDK. Everything is available on YouTube. I will shortly provide you the link for that also. So if you are new to Flutter and having a hard time reading the documentation, although it's very fast, it's very easy to understand also. So still, you can go through the YouTube. It's just a minute. Okay, let me just. Okay, some has issues.
sorry for the network disruption. So I was is my screen still visible?
No,
No, some
Bhaiya.
right now it's fine.
Just a second then. Okay, all right. So what we were we were in the middle of reverting the data back from one page to another, right? So let's do that, and then we will be making an edit task item. So in the home screen, where our navigation item was here, we are awaiting this in a result, and then we are going to create a new item out of that, right? So let's see what's the issue here. Add task screen, and then uh, yeah, so we will be on pressed on save. I'm going to change it on this item, and then I'm going to add a navigator dot of context, and then I'll be passing the context from here. Build context, and this context will be here dot pop, and then I will also be taking the string task name dot pop, and then I'll be passing task name in that. All right. So now my entire thing is properly done. On save function is ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this here and this one as well. And I'm going to change this one to on save, and then I'm going to pass context and task name. All right, so this should do our task correctly. Just a second. Why did this happen? Oh, sorry, my bad. This should not have happened there. And yeah, uh, now let's reload. Okay, now that we are done with this, okay, so demo app is now correct. Let's add a new one. Okay, just a second. Why is it demo as default? Okay, just a second. There has been some bug definitely. Let's see. Demo. Where am I calling demo? All right, so this. Yeah, so the title here, I'm going to just leave it as is, and I'll be making this a required item, and then in add task screen I'm going to just remove this one entirely. Then in the tasks list I'll correct this one a bit. Let's see, let's try what happens. All right. Let me create a new widget entirely for this again. There has these issues should not have happened at all, but let's see. Yeah, so I'll be returning a list style here, list style, and this will have a title of a widget dot task. Oh, sorry. Let me remove this. Sorry, just a second. Yeah. Uh, ST huh? This should be, and this will be called list style, list item. This will take a string and a bool. I'll pass a task entirely, task, and I'll remove this const in case, and this will be a list style. Will take a title of title tasks or title, and a sub of and a trailing widget of icon, and if tasks dot is completed true, then icons checkbox, otherwise icons check blank. All right, so now let's see what's the issue here. This Okay, let's remove this entirely, and let's just use the our item directly into a list item, list style, and here will be the title will be task text of task items index dot title, and the trailing will be an icon button, and it will be not an edit item as of now. Let's make it icon, let's make it something which will be indicating of whether the task is completed. Icon, and then task items index dot is complete sorry, index dot is completed true, then icons dot check box, and otherwise the outline will be blank. This should do it, and let's hot reload. Okay, so let's just remove this entirely, and this should work right now. Yeah. Yeah. Now let's see. Yeah, hot restart works right now perfectly. I am restarting the application. I am creating this new. Oh, just a second. Why is it okay? On submitted. Let me remove that. That should. That's what's creating all the issues here. And I'm going to set an unchanged value to a task name value. All right. Now, if I perform a hot restart, yeah. So let me add a new add something. Okay, this is still creating issues. Text editing controller. Equals text editing. I'm creating this controller just to update this value controller. I'm just going to add a text editing controller. Yeah, I'm not going to set an unchanged here anymore to avoid this issue. And what I'm going to pass is this text editing controller contains all the text that is being taken into typed into this particular screen, right? So this should but Just a second. Why is it getting submitted immediately? Um, let's first remove the submit button for a second and let's try to figure out how we are doing this. All right. So with that, I think we will be avoiding this bug for some time. Yeah. All right. So I am able to type it out and let's see now. All right. So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to create a raised button, a text button, and on pressed I will be setting it as a child. I'll be giving it as a container of theme, which will contain a child, which will be a text, and then let's see, and then let's give it a color of colors.teal. We are going to now create a function for this particular thing, like on save basically, which is what I guess was creating most of our issues. So on pressed, we are going to just save, like now this should make our issues gone. All right, so just a second. Yeah, so let's see, let's try this. Okay, a bit bigger. We need a bit bigger text, so we can just style it out a bit. Style, text style of, we'll give it a color of white, colors.white, and then font size of 20. So let's hot reload again. And give it a padding. If there's no padding, it does not look nice. So a padding of sets dot all 10. Yeah, so let's type this is a new task. Yeah, no, so now our task, our app, like looks a bit okay after all these bugs. So let's hot restart once, and now it's an empty app. Let's create a new task. This is my first task. First task. First task. This should, yeah, now this is being this is created. Now let's add it, like now let's make an edit task item as well. I'm going to wrap this list style into what we call another widget, which is called inkwell. In this inkwell, we are going to define two functions. One will be a regular delete function and one will be a regular edit function. So if and another function for setting it to completed. So on tap, first is on tap. I'm going to create the function so that set state of task items dot is task items index dot is completed to not like the opposite of what it is currently now. And then what I'm going to, let's try this out once. So you can see that this is working correctly as intended. Let me change it a bit so that we can see the style. We can see it a bit like clearly. Style, text style, and then decoration. Sorry, decoration. task items dot is completed index, then it will be a line through. Now I'll be hot reloading it, and let's see. Yeah, so now you can see that I'm able to like do this, and like it will cancel out my task, right? So let's make an edit task screen as well. It will be the same as add task, but it will take a parameter which will be a task object. And I'm not going to make it required. So since it necessitate like with null safety, it we can just give this question mark item to make it so that it is like possible to make this item null. So now we have all of our items, so let's try to check it once. If like our widget dot tasks, this is a stateful widget, right? Yeah. So just a second. Oh yeah, I haven't created this. Final task this dot task. Yeah. So with this like widget I'll be creating a widget dot task dot is completed. If sorry, widget dot tasks not equals null equals null, so it will be an add task, otherwise it will be an edit task, correct? If I'm not passing any parameters, then it should be an edit task. But if I am, then it should be a sorry, if I'm not passing any parameters, then it should be an add task, and if I am, then it should be an edit task. And then I'm going to make this one a bit like this is a bigger brother of that regular text field, and I can pass it an initial value of like if my widget dot task uh, equals null, then I'll pass an empty. Otherwise, a widget dot task dot title. I have an initial value, and which then it can be like if that item exists, then it will be visible right now. So let's see. Let's try this edit task, and I haven't added an item like a function to how to call this edit task. So I'm going to add on long press, and then I am going to call edit. What did I name this function right here? Okay, go to edit task screen. Go to edit task screen context. All right, let's refresh a hot restart indeed to see what happened. All right, let's create a. Okay, so initial value and controller both cannot be given at the same time. All right, no issues. Kind of expected. Okay, let's remove this for a while, and let's see if this much should work. Yeah, so let me try this task one. Save. Okay, so if I am long pressing, it does take me to the like entire thing. So we have nothing to worry now. You have a fully functional to-do task, like to-do app with just about let's see, 48 lines and 80 120 like 90, so about 130 lines of code only, just like quite less, given that there's a lot of boilerplate code that we did not even need to write. So without even like just 130 pages of code, we were able to do all this stuff, right? Now let's like this much. Now let's add one last final thing. I'm going to change this to like on edit to on double tap, and instead of and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a delete task item as task, and then I'm going to pass a task is and then and then I'll be removing that task directly from the task items list. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one on long press, delete task, and I'm going to pass the task items index. All right. And then I'll be making it a function. And now I think we are good to go. So now my task got deleted. Let's try adding a new task, like task one, save, task two, and I completed a task. I deleted a task. And then let's make it like on double tap. Since it's on double tap, let's do that. Okay, so you can see that your app is almost done. There's a few ironing out of stuff and all. We'll do those as well. Now we haven't created an edit task item yet, so let's do that as well. Like since we have this but we don't have an edit task, we are going to create an edit task. Now this is your basic data structures question. This shouldn't take enormous amounts of time, but let's try this again. And edit task, go to just a second. Yeah, so now edit task, and I'm going to response dot to string, and index I will be passing it right from here itself. Go to edit task, screen, and comma index, int index, and then here I'll be passing index. All right, so our edit tasks item has also been done right now. So like if we try to do this, all of the app will be completed. So with this, like the to do app is done. There are a lot of stuff that needs to be done after this. There's padding to be done around this text form field. There's like you can straight like make the corners rounded, and this, and like if you know a bit more about app development, you need to know that we will be storing this data off of somewhere, right? Either on cloud or on your local storage. So there's that to do. But with limited time and limited resources, I guess comes limited knowledge as well. So I'd suggest that you guys try and learn it on your own and use Flutter, and then just like we are always here to help you guys out in case you want to ask something or anything, or ask something, or if you want to learn more about why Flutter. And recently you guys can check it out on YouTube, that Flutter released its Windows version of your most of the stuff as well. So, Windows version of your like Flutter, like you can do your Flutter apps on Windows directly off of the same code base. So now you have support for Mac OS, iOS, Windows, Android, and your browser, web browsers. So you have support for each and everything. So so we can basically do a lot of stuff with Flutter. So I hope you guys enjoyed this workshop. Any questions, please? Guys, Vikas, can we switch to the PPT back?
Yes, भैया, sure भैया. So guys, you can scan this code and post their question. So we will answer it out.
Like, should we go to the next slide, to see the questions? Because
Bhaiya, if anyone posts, it will be appear there. Yeah,
yes, nice,
yeah.
nice, nice. Yeah. So, is Flutter a safe career for option for career? Uh, and like I'll take the career based question afterwards. How average app development time compared to other platforms? See, there's a lot of like, the problem with other platforms is you have to spend a lot of time writing code for other, like, not just for Android but also for like your basic stuff, like your iOS. You have to hire a separate developer to do that. You have to know Swift. You have to have different code bases for each and a backend connecting both of those. That's a lot of work, right? But think of it this way: instead of having to like dedicate two of your developers to two different code bases and twice the time, it gets half. And with more and more platforms, if you want to use date your time to, like, you want to save your time, right? It's difficult. It's a bit difficult to for a like, from a economic standpoint as well. And for a developer, like, you have to learn so many stuff. If you are a native developer, like, you have to learn Android native, Kotlin, or something, as well as Swift. If you want to do on iOS, Windows, there's C hash and C sharp and like other stuff, and like that. You have to learn a lot of stuff. But with Flutter, it reduces down a lot. You have the same code base and everything is same. You just need to do a bit of UI and bit of UI modifications based on each platform. And with Flutter 2.10, you guys can do that easily with just switchable. So there's a lot of it saves almost one third the time of in comparison to other platforms. Native Android versus Flutter, which one is better? It really depends. See, native Android, if you want something like a video game where performance matters a lot, right? So in that case, I will suggest that you go with native Android, because of course performance is a key. And Flutter, there's even though there's support for 120 FPS, animations and everything, nothing beats native Android in case of video games. But now Flutter has caught up to each and every aspect of each and every other aspect of app development. It's not just about video games anymore, right? You have your face, like social media. You have your basic, like Zomato or something, a booking app like that. You have your GPay, a basic transaction based app which needs more security and everything. And Flutter is able to do what and native is able to do on the same scale as other platforms. So I would say that Flutter is better, unless you are absolutely focused on performance, which is where I would suggest that you go with native. How do you pass data between different pages? See, there's a lot of different methods in which data can be passed. As you saw, since we had only two pages, we passed data using navigator.pop and then navigator.push, right? But when what happens is, in a large app you have several pages. So how do I pass data between those pages? There's something called a provider. Provider basically enables us to fetch data from any page to that particular page, regardless of it directly not being related to each other. Right. So you can fetch data from, suppose, say, second page to the eighth page in a chronological order without having to pass that data throughout all those six pages using provider. It's a package, and you just need to initialize it and pass that, just set it up once to be able to pass it through different pages. This is one level. And then there's like separate, there's a more better version of provider, which is your block provider, say, and there's like more and more better stuff coming out each and every day. So one can of course learn those as well. Apoor, would you like to take the next question? Apoor. Oh, I guess his he has like there's some issue with his internet. No worries. But yeah, there's a lot. There are a lot of good.
Okay, I was okay. Okay, fine, fine. Sorry, you
All right.
can. Actually, my PC was
So
lagging.
all right. So I would suggest that you guys try this one, which I'm linking it down the chat box. Uh, it's a very basic video, and I like it mostly because, like, instead of a very foreign accent, it's an Indian who's explaining it, so I can understand it pretty easily. And it's very simple, and it explains each and every step of what one should do, including like setting up environment variables and everything. Okay, so I guess this was the last question. Vikas.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Uh,
Thank you all my seniors, juniors, and my batchmate Manas for joining. I hope you all really enjoyed today's workshop. And yeah, thanks again for your precious time and patience.
yeah, and thank you, Vikas, for hosting this event. Thank you.
Thank you.